going on, guys? Here with the latest truck. I haven't had enough this year. If you guys know me well, been watching my channel. Clearly I do a lot of reviews. I drive a lot of different things. I'm an enthusiast, and I've been able to switch trucks pretty frequently because the ones I'm buying do hold good value. So I've kind of messed around, and in my own head there's been trucks that I've wanted, aka Ram TRX, one of my favorites I've had. Just recently traded that. This is the latest 2022 GMC Denali. This is an Ultimate with the 3.0 Duramax. Here we go. Just gave it a quick bath because we just had a ton of rain and I got a bunch of mud. You can see it on the tire. That good old Tennessee clay loves to stick to everything. And that's always been my big challenge with having something really fancy. You know, the TRX, I could run it through and didn't really bother me when it was dirty. This guy is definitely going to bother me when it's dirty. Of course, it is ceramic coated. We've got it all tinted up. We do plan on future plans, de-chroming around the windows, basically de-chroming the steps, the door handles, and the mirror caps to kind of make it look a little sportier. So stay tuned for that one. I've got it running. It's quiet. It's a very smooth diesel. I've actually had this diesel before. That's what kind of enticed me to get it. The big thing with the TRX that everybody knows as enthusiasts is obviously the fuel economy. I've got some really good friends that have them too, and I absolutely did love that truck. Kudos to Ram for building it. Can't go wrong with 700 horsepower in a truck. So Derek, what's it like going from 700 horsepower to like right around 300? I'll tell you, this thing is torquey, almost 500 foot-pounds of torque, and it pulls very well. I love it. I had it before, and my thought was, if I can average 25, 24 miles per gallon instead of 10, well, this would be a good commuter truck for me. I love the 22-inch wheels. They actually ride really good on the Denali because the Denali has the shocks that are constantly adjusting. You get the Ultimate badging on the Ultimate. The Duramax is kind of in the background, which I think is really cool. You get what they call a Vader grill, which is a like dark chrome grill, and you notice the GMC is not red on this truck. I am not a fan of chrome tow hooks, so we'll probably get those blacked out along with the surround down there. So of course I've got pros and cons, just like I do with every other vehicle. Try to go through that thoroughly so you can get an unbiased, hey, what do you think, you know? This is a very solid truck. GMC makes a good truck. It's planted to the ground, it handles well. Is it still a truck? Is it a body on frame? Are you gonna feel bumps? Of course, it's still a truck, but they're all that way. Ford F-150, I had a lot of bed bounce because it had aluminum bed. You know, I switched the shocks out to Bilstein, and that seemed to help a little bit. But this truck just has a more planted feel, similar to my Ram TRX. I said that a lot about the TRX. Now the TRX has some very special suspension in it, of course. You know, tons of suspension travel. It's not really a fair fight. This is definitely more of the road cruiser, and I got this one to just try out a very comfortable truck. Very similar to when I had my Ford Lightning. If you're looking at that video, that was just about a year ago. When the Lightning came out, I got one of those. Absolutely love that truck. I think Ford did a killer job. Of course, with the whole EV thing, I was trying it, 560 horsepower. My goal is to have, like everybody else, right? We all want our cake and eat it too. My goal is to have the electric power, you know, all that 600-700 horsepower. Who doesn't want that? But also have some kind of economy with that. So what may be the next rig after this one is the new 2025 Ram Charger. If you look that up, you will see that that is a 660-ish horsepower electric truck that has a generator on board, which I think is really cool. I'm not a hybrid fan because I don't like the motors turning on and off. I don't even like auto start stop, and I know a lot of you guys don't. Let's hop inside this thing and take a look. We'll talk more about that. So, don't mind my dirty steps. I put some ambient lighting in recently. I shot a separate video on that because that is one of my gripes. We'll talk about that more in detail. I do like the steps. As you can see, I've got a muddy driveway. I'm stepping up into this thing. I am going to get some rubber mats. I like that you can push this And actually make sure you push it, and it moves the step back so you can actually get in the bed, which is really a cool little trick. Now, I am not a chrome fan, so I am going to be probably vinyl wrapping that, and it looks a lot better. I've seen a few of them already that way, so it kind of blends in, it kind of hides, because I don't really love steps. I had power steps on the Ram as well. So these are the Ultimate seats, and in a pickup truck right now, this is my number one. Yes, Ram has one of my favorite interiors. I think the fit and finish in Ram is a 10. This truck came out with the Ultimate series. Specifically in the Ultimate, you get these seats, and you get the whole kind of Denali setup here with the coordinates on it, the grain wood, this trim up top here. You do get this stitch on the AT4 like I had. I did have a 22 AT4. You can check out that video as well. My biggest complaints on that truck were the seats. I absolutely hated them. I've watched some reviews where I know there's some guys out there that do agree with me. They're skinny, they're hard, I just don't like them. Compared to F-150 and compared to the Ram, to me, there was no contest until this seat came out. This seat is massaging. That's what this button's for. You can also get an AT4X with a similar seat in stitching. And then you have all these adjustments in here that do things like bolsters and all that. So on the screen, you can see there's your massage. Then you can jump through back bolster. So you got a lot of things like Mercedes would have where you can customize it, which I think is really nice. I also do like this screen. I still like the shifter in the middle. I don't like Ram puts the shifter up on the top. I'm not a fan of that. One of the reasons why I like the TRX, it was in the middle. I do like the trailer brake here, which the Chevys don't do for some reason. They put them up on the dash. That's right now when your hand is, and I think that's a better location. So the layout of the GMC versus the Chevy, like High Country, I actually did a video on that separately. You could look for that in my playlist. I do like this layout. It's definitely got a more luxurious feel. You know, not to dog the Chevy. That's just a different truck, just a little bit as far as the way they do things, right? But I love these seats. They're definitely you know, kid-proof. It smells like real leather in here. I like the trim on the dash, and on the door panels here, you got this nice soft touch grain. You still got some grain here on plastic. You still got plastic on the bottom. But the door panel is much nicer, and you get this nice, on the upgraded Bose audio, the nice grills. So kudos to them, much better job. In the back, they all have about the same space nowadays. You can see I put that ambient lighting underneath. They do have the upgraded Bose, which gives you these up here as well. The Bose system versus the Ram and versus the Ford. Ford has B&O sound system, which is very good in the higher trims, like that Ford Lightning I had and the Platinum. It's a good system. I think all the trucks they've got good bass, but if you're a bass guy and an audio guy like I am, you'll see in one of my videos I've also added a subwoofer, which is tucked underneath there. So I got a nice clean subwoofer setup. But as you guys can see, much nicer. Dodge puts the little containers down on the bottom there. Ram does these little kind of seat integrations, which is nice. GMC. Cup holders are good. The Ram one does have a big console, like a real console that goes all the way back. I do like that a little better for rear occupants. But once again, they're all a little different. This is going to be the carbon bed. Of course, we talk about the split tailgate here. I had this before, and honestly, I do like it. I thought it was a little gimmicky when it came out, but I do find myself at Home Depot throwing wood here, and it's stacked up here, and it's not moving around because it's in here. This one does have the cool kicker audio system in it, which is kind of cool when you're working in the yard or whatever. And we'll go all the way down. All right, so now we're all the way down, and on the carbon bed, you get the cool lights up in the top, which I really like. They light the bed perfectly. But it is nice. The bed seems, I think it's a little wider in this truck. I do find it very usable. I do like that you could put I don't know if it's 4x6s or whatever in here, but you could put those in there, which is kind of cool. Everybody's got their own tricks with the bed, so that's just going to be personal preference. Doesn't have a power tailgate up. This tailgate's actually pretty heavy. That's probably my only complaint. It is a heavier tailgate compared to like the Ram that had the aluminum tailgate, which was very light and easy to pick up. And of course, you had the power tailgate on the Lightning, which I didn't like either because it didn't sound like it was going to close correctly. It was really whiny, and it almost sounded like the motor was going to burn out of it. Not a fan of that. So I think the old school aluminum, I don't mind them dropping, but I think I'm picking up themselves. I'm not a huge fan of, at least at this point. Once again, personal preference. This one does have surround view camera. Does have the mirror lights like you get on the F-150. And of course we do have the LED headlights with the running lights here. Let's hop inside. So you do have the Ultimate on the door. We do have four-wheel drive, and we do have auto mode like you would in a Lariat or above F-150, and you would in the four-wheel drive Rams as well. There we go. So I've just been sitting here idling this thing, so that's why it's saying 19.6. It's been running for about 20 minutes, so it usually averages about 23. That's what I've been getting. You can see I got 6,200 miles on it currently. I bought it with about 5,000 miles on it. This is a recent purchase, and I just went with a pre-owned one because the price was really good, the miles were low, and you know, save some money. So, but I do like the rearview mirror. You're starting to see the Rams get that in their level 2 as well, which is nice now. Ford's starting to do it. Ford's starting to do the heads up like here as well. GM has a huge heads up display. I know it's really hard to see. I got my Pond out there, but over here on the side you can change the info and what you see, and you can kind of see it. Let me try and zoom in there. There you go. So you can kind of see, you can put the car speed limit warning, you know, the car in front of you would be there. As far as the cruise control goes, this guy's the king. Best cruise system I've ever used. This is the Super Cruise system. You see the little lights. These are from the screen. You don't actually see these lights on here, but you see them when we're recording. So self-steering, self-driving. This whole thing lights up green, and then of course on the dash it lights up green, and you can change these gauges from the control system as well, which I like. So if you want to customize the screen, you can do display layout, and of course you have all these different options, which you can do on a lot of other trucks now too. So Ram does a good job of that. They actually probably have a little more customization, which I do like. You know, you can see a lot of the digital readouts. The Ford Raptor had that as well that I had, which I like too. So these are all, I mean, once you get into these $80,000 trucks, they're all really cool. The big things I pick on with GM that I will talk about here now while we're in here is ambient lighting. So I put these lights in myself. These are the Gove lights, which I use in my house as well. They're a really cool kit, but it did take me a minute to put them in. I tucked them under the seats here. They're color changing. I just kind of leave them on that, but I do like them. There is zero light in here at night. It is absolutely like pitch dark with the exception of the screens, and if the screens are up too high, that's all you're staring at, so it can be frustrating. I usually keep them down a little bit so they're not completely blinding. So that is one of my big gripes with GMC and with the Chevys. They just, ambient lighting has been like non-existent unless you get into like a Cadillac Escalade, and it's like, really? I just don't get that. Ford F-150, Ram, they all got lights, they all got ambient lighting. They all light up like, you know, around the dash area and the door pockets, and it's just nice when you're driving at night. You got kids in the back, and you just got a little bit of light there so you can kind of see what's going on. Once again, pros and cons, right? So multi-tailgates on here. The other trucks don't have that. They have own versions of that, of course. But yeah, the power steps are cool. It is cool how they deploy to the bed. I think that's really neat. Big positive here to GM on the using Google. I like the Google. It can be a little, there we go. So you can just do the whole entire map, which I think is really cool. You can see it's quick. Cameras are great. Surround view, of course. High def. Nice and clean. Sorry, I've got a lot of clay in this video, so everything looks brown. Heated and cool seats are great. The massaging seats are great. Love that. The heated steering wheel is good. The seats, do they get as hot as the Ram? No, the Rams get hotter for sure. Does that mean they're going to last as long? Who knows? I've been told all different things. Driver aids down here, auto start, stop, cancel, which I push pretty much every time. There is an all power window down button. which is pretty cool. And once again, the diesel in this truck is kind of the star of the show. Yes, I got to pay for DEF, but honestly, this thing is smooth, it's torquey, it's fun. The ride quality is amazing, even with 22-inch wheels on it. And I think they did a good job as far as that goes. I do think it's the best half-ton diesel as far as just being smooth, and it's really the only one available at the moment since Ram has cut their production of theirs. So, but very cool truck, guys. Very well built as far as you know, the fit and finish and all those things go. I do like the upgrades of the Ultimate. So basically, the Bose sound system is one more level up. You got Ultimate badging. You've got the seats is the big star of the show with massage feature and all this custom stitching. A little bit different trim. The Vader grill. Of course, the Super Cruise is going to be standard. I believe it's optional in the standard Denali. And this open pore kind of wood here. This one did have the option of the painted fenders, which I do like on the black. I think once I get the mirror caps dark and I get the chrome off of these guys, it's going to look a lot better, a lot more sporty, a lot more young guy. So, but good solid truck for sure. Even without the coil suspension. So if you guys are familiar, these trucks still have leaf springs. But in the Denali, it actually rides nice. And actually, I had the elevation as well, and the elevation didn't ride bad. They're definitely more trucky, but they're very planted, and they do handle good. One more perk to the other trucks. These headlights are nice. They're auto high beam, and they do work well, but they don't move. They move on the Ram. You go around the corner, they're advanced. On back roads where I live, out in the middle of the woods, when it's pitch dark and there's zero street lights, the headlights moving dynamically are way better on the Ram and way better even on the higher trim Fords like the Platinums. So kudos to them for that. They don't have Super Cruise. Ford's got their own version. I had it in the Lightning. It's good, but it's not nearly as good as this system, and everybody's pretty much saying that if you're watching the videos. The Ford one kind of bounces off the lanes a little bit, and it doesn't feel... you're kind of nervous while it's working, we'll just say that. So the looks of this truck, I definitely rank it up there as one of my favorites. I do love the bold grille. I love the look of this thing. I think it's awesome. I normally like lifted trucks, and this one without a lift with the 22s does not bother me one bit. I think for what I'm trying to do on a 40-minute commute, this would be a good travel truck for the time being. And then maybe when the new Ram Charger comes out, we can go over that as well and compare them. We'll see. We thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more.